People often talk about how bad boys are raised by their single mothers, but they fail to mention how often fathers raise their sons badly. I understand the importance of a father being in the home. I wanted my son to have like this amazing father. I had so many conversations with my son's father about what kind of father he would be when we had children. I was under the impression that after a year of us being together, we were going to get married, and then eventually we were going to have children. And then I got pregnant with my son a lot earlier. And the man that he turned into when he found out I was pregnant was a man I did not recognize. And a lot of people assume it's because, oh, maybe he was in a relationship with someone else, or he was married to somebody else, or he wanted to be with someone else, or something that had to do with another woman, right? And my thing is, I don't think it had anything to do with another woman. I think it had to do with the kind of man he was and how he was raised as a man. And I remember him telling me neither one of my father figures taught me anything about being a man. He had two male figures in his life: his biological father, who was barely present and didn't teach him anything about being a man, and his stepfather, who was in the streets and ended up getting incarcerated. So he didn't teach him the best things about being a father.
Nobody talks about how badly boys are raised by their fathers. Being abusive, intolerable, and the list goes on. When a son has been raised properly by the father, he knows how to lead a home. He knows how to give direction to the household. He knows how to provide. He knows how to go out there and catch the biggest fish for the benefit of the family. And the list goes on. The qualities are very good if a young man is raised properly by a father to become a great husband. But you know what's the problem? We have lots of households where there's fatherlessness. Men are running away from raising their kids and adding value to their kids. And therefore, we have a very extreme fatherless generation, because instead of fathers raising sons, the system has raised cowards who don't want to partake in their children's lives.
When people look at my situation, they don't know that I had those kind of conversations with my son's father. They think I'm just this single mother that was sleeping with some guy and we had a fling and that's how I ended up pregnant. No, we was in a full-blown relationship. I was thinking this was about to be my husband. So I was getting to know dude, right? And so when I started learning about his childhood and how he was abused during his childhood, right, it was something that I could relate to. And one of the things he did say to me about our son was to make sure that I never physically abused our son. That's the one thing he didn't want me to do. The only thing that he was certain about is what he wanted to name our son and what he didn't want me to do as his mother. And I was like, so now that I'm raising my son alone and my son doesn't have a father figure around, what I try to do as his mother is teach him how to be a good person. My son is 5, and right now the current thing that I'm trying to explain to him is the difference between anger and strength, because he is under the impression that anger and strength is the same thing. And as his mother, I want to be careful with that, because I don't want him to think it's okay to be abusive. I want him to have a level of emotional intelligence for him, so that he can be able to function properly in this world. The whole goal for me is to teach him how to be an amazing husband and father. And a lot of people believe because I'm a woman, I can't teach him that. My goal is to not teach him how to be a man. My goal is to teach him how to be a leader, to teach him how to make good decisions, make better decisions that I did. I had to deal with his emotions. I think I just look at being a single mother very differently, because my intention was never to be a single mother, and I always thought that he would have a decent father and I would be married. Whether you have a son or a daughter, whoever you are considering having children with, or if you're looking at a guy and you're thinking about having children with him, try to figure out what kind of relationship he had with his parents. And his relationship with them matters, because it somewhat kind of shows you what kind of parent they would be to your kids.